Now let's just say that I'm happy with the forms that I have. These guys I probably don't need because I didn't like them anyways. Okay, I'm going to use these two right here, which are the more simplified polygonal forms without too much triangulated sides. So for this one, there's four-sided, 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 four-sided. So there's four-sided parts and two triangle parts, which seems to be a simple shape anyways. So from this point, what I need to do is to prep this for the unrolling or the unfolding. For this, I need to take this object and join it all together. Okay, and now it's all one object. This one too, I'm going to join it all together so that it'll be just one object. Okay, we do have to be careful about how we take this one because this does have a concave element to it. It might have been better for this one to, let's just say, explode and manually join these together. So if I say select this guy and say join, and then say this guy, whoops, this guy and this guy, and if I say join, and then say this one and the bottom piece, join, and then select this bottom piece and then this side piece, and then say join, and then this guy and this roof, well, say join, and then this and, whoops, let's select the bottom, this bottom piece and this guy, whoops, join. I think with that order of joining, I think we should have a split on this edge right here. Okay, so let me have this one as a safety. So I'm going to copy this over, and with this I'm going to attempt to unroll the first one. So if I take this guy and say unroll, surface, it says explode no. Well, where's my say explode yes as we start as a default set. Labels, it might say yes. Keep properties no. What we can do is to let's just do this in this way first, okay, and we'll see what that is. So explode yes, what that means is that I'm going to as I unroll this, it's going to get exploded, which means that all the pieces are going to be scattered everywhere. I'm having a label on, so which means that whatever this thing is right there, it's going to create these little number bubbles on it. Key properties, I'm going to say yes, so that it'll leave its original form and everything. So with that, let's just try it. There it is. So I have this form right here. All the pieces are separate now, but it is identifiable. Like this 12 right here is this 12 right here. This 8 right here looks like to be this 8 right here, and 11 right there is that surface right here. So if I could connect this 12 to, let's say, this other 12, I should make this little gable. Okay, let's Control Z and undo that. The other way to have this thing is to unroll surface, select the object, but this time I'm going to say explode no. Label, this is such a simple shape, I don't think I need to keep track. If I had a more complex shape, I'm probably going to say yes and then keep it as a separate object. But for here, I'm just going to say no, no, and then if I do that, I have this piece right here, which is this thing unrolled, but everything is kept together. I know that this looks to be the bottom part, this looks to be the roof, right? And it looks like it split it at the roof right there. If I take this thing and look at it from the top view, okay, And the side view, I might have a little bit more of a reference to this thing. Okay, but what this is this thing, let me copy this a little bit so that maybe we could see what's going on, is that this thing is basically the outside. Let me try to get into a simple shape. Outside is showing flat. This is probably the correct way to show it, because when I take this to the laser cutter, I want this to be out, and I want to score some of these lines the way they are. Okay, notice that the inside is green, the inside on this is showing up as the bottom side. Okay, if I flip this over like a flapjack, like a pancake, if I go 180 degrees, please note that it looks like this is the bottom right here. So if I say move, take that and put it right over here, and then say rotate, not 3D, it's just rotate. It's like from that portion right there to that portion right there, and then to that portion right there. Notice the bottom matches up perfectly. And if I fold these back up again, it should just wrap, right? So we know that this shape wrapped or unfolded correctly. Okay, but now what I want to do is to take this form, and when you unroll, sometimes a Rhino unrolls it into its own frame of thought, right? So I'm gonna modify this thing so that it'll wrap the way I want it to wrap. So since this one, it split the surface, it split the edge right down the middle, or the gable right down the middle, I want the gable to be joined. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm gonna have to explode this first, and then rotate this guy, rotate this and this to go something like that. Okay, there might be an easy way to do this if I'm not sure, or if it wasn't, let's say this was separate or something. I know I want this part to go to this part to go to this part. If I use the orient command, orient, select the pieces, and say from here to here, I want the coordinating point to be from here to here, it's just going to wrap that back up for me. So I have the surface there. This edge right there is going to match up with the bottom edge, so when I'm all said and done, it's going to create this tube, just like the tube that looks kind of like this right there. This edge right here, it's going to come off the roof. I guess that's okay. I could either make it come off the roof, or I could make it come off the floor. So this is a form that I think I could live with, and there it is. Okay. So since I exploded these pieces, it is now ready to be made into a 2D image. Okay, and I'll show you. Let's just say select that, make a copy of it, and show us what's happening. So had I joined this thing together, join, and unroll surface, I'm sorry, not unroll, Make2d, select this one that I joined together and say there it is. I don't need any of these options on. Yeah, looking at the top view, I am in the top view. Good, and select it. It makes a, oops, let me try this again. Make2d. If I move this out, it's going to create just the perimeter of this object. This guy right here is exploded, right? So what that means is that if I select all of these objects and say Make2d, please note that all of the lines that I need for the score, whoops, all the joints are still going to show up. I want this one. I do not want this one, because if I have this one, I'm going to have to make my own joints, and not so good. Alright, so what I want to wind up with is each of the surface to be expressed as each of the planes, but now in a line form. Okay, and that's basically it. From here, I'm ready to take it into an AutoCAD drawing and prep for that to be the file to be used for the laser cutter.